What's going on, guys? Player Junior back with another video, and today welcome back to an F1 2020 video. And as you can see on the screen right now, we are looking at things to do in the lead up to the death race itself. One of the worst races on the calendar for me. I know it's a lot of people's favourite races because obviously it's one of the most trickier circuits, so that then people can then be able to show off their driving skills. But for me personally, it is one of the most trickier races of the calendar, and that is the grand scheme of Monaco itself. As you can see, I do have a low income of cash and a few other things with the engine parts and bits like that, which I am going through now, trying to sort it out. But like I said, this week it is Monaco, one of probably my least favourite tracks in the whole of the calendar. Like I said, I know people love it, but for me personally, it is one of my least favourite tracks, and I absolutely hate it to the back teeth because you have to drive so good on this track. It is absolutely outrageous, some of the turns, and B, I just don't know how to drive this track. So heads up before we get into the race, it is going to be a bumpy race. There is a few crashes, and yeah, there is some very bad driving mistakes. But like I've said before in this YouTube series and videos, I am not a pro F1 driver, because if I was, I would A, have more subs, and B, more viewers, because people would actually want to watch my content rather than me crashing out and people seeing a subpar content. But yes, anyway, I hope you guys do enjoy these F1 videos, because I do. As you can see me advancing, but I haven't even set any sort of things up before the race. As you do see me in the video actually realizing that I haven't set any activities at all leading up to this race. So the activities I did have, I now only have a few amount of days to fit in the activities. Big fat forehead by me, hand on forehead. I made that mistake, so I am honestly sorry, because I wish I did more activities, because A, it's only me missing out, it's not you guys. But yeah, I feel like I was just way too nervous leading into Monaco, because I just knew that this race is really going to show how crap I am at this game. But at the same time, I love making content and I love this game, so for me it don't matter, because at the end of the day, the only person who has to sit and enjoy it is me. So yeah, if you guys want to see a very subpar race on Monaco, then please do continue watching. But if you're looking for professional F1 driving, then I am not your man. So yeah, as you can see, we did have to replace the gearbox. So we was going to receive some sort of penalty during penalty. I don't know what the penalty was, but yeah, we was going to receive some sort of penalty leading into this race. As you can see me scrolling through, I was like, is the gearbox something I can fix here and now without having to receive the penalty? But I could not find anything. So yeah, I just received the penalty and I was just like, sod it. Let's just get into Monaco and let's just get this race over and done with, so we can move on with our lives after this race. But saying that, the next race is Azerbaijan, so I'm not too sure if that's any better, to be honest. So going into this, I was kind of a bit 50-50, a bit like hopeful, but then I was feeling extremely negative as well, because I know what I drive like on Monaco. If you guys want an insider, let's just say when I was doing my McLaren series, which I didn't post on YouTube, I was just doing it for fun off YouTube, I was like, yeah, and I just basically simmed Monaco because I hated it that bloody much. So yeah, that was kind of interesting. But yes, as you did see, we are clicking through to Monaco now, so soon and shortly you will have the qualifying pace shown up on the Monaco. And I did this about 7 times, this attempt. I attempted this qualifying 7 times. So I hope you guys enjoy the video, and yeah, if you are new around here, please smash the like button. We're so close to 100 subscribers. And yeah, hope you guys enjoy my pain and stuff like that at Monaco. And yeah, this is my qualifying pace, and like I said, I hope you guys enjoy it. This took me a lot of effort to film this, so yeah, I hope you enjoy Monaco as much as I did not. So yeah, enjoy, and I'll see you. So as you can see, getting into the background here, we are getting through onto the Monaco qualifying pace. As you can see me hard braking there around that corner. But to be fair, right, I'm gonna come out and say this right now. All the time I was racing in Monaco, I used a controller. I don't know why. I usually use a PlayStation steering wheel and foot pedals, but for Monaco I had to use a bloody controller. I just felt like with the steering wheel I was having to majorly turn with this steering wheel, and yeah, I just wasn't getting the turning that was required for Monaco. It just felt like, because my steering wheel ain't one of these pro steering wheels where it turns like a lot, you have to kind of really steer it with this. So I was like, sod this, let's get the old thumb sticks out and try it on that. And for some reason I just raced completely better on the old thumb sticks. I almost crashed into the wall there, but yeah, so just bear that in mind when I'm racing, is that I am actually using a controller for this whole Monaco race, as the car looks sexy going through the tunnel there. Yeah, I'm using a controller for this whole of the Monaco race. I'm not using a steering wheel and foot pedals like I traditionally use. I'm actually using a controller on Monaco. So, surprise, surprise, yeah. So keep that in mind when I do absolutely fail. Realise that I am actually using a controller. And, yeah, I hope you guys enjoy it. This is my qualifying pace. I did pretty well. And let's get into the qualification itself.
How do you feel about this team's performance this season? You scraped the walls a few times. Were you struggling for grip? Great. Well, that.
So, as you can see, we're getting into qualifying here. I did lie a bit, I thought it was going to go straight into the qualifying, but I didn't. We actually had an interview, so yeah, hope you enjoyed that little interview. But yeah, getting into qualifying, like I said, I was using a controller for this, and yeah, I just felt really good in the qualifying. I don't know why. I was kind of looking to lock out the grid. I wanted to be the #1 driver in qualifying, because I was like, I have to be #1, because when you're #1 driver on this track, it is so key, because you can control the tempo of the race. And being #1 for me was my biggest goal. I was like, I am not gonna settle for anything other than #1, because I'm telling you now, if I don't get #1, I'm gonna be so annoyed, because I needed this race to be me #1, because I was like, I have to control this race. My car felt a lot quicker, so the gearbox change had changed the car a lot. It had gone back to how it used to be. But I was like, I have to be #1 for this race. Anything other than #1 is going to be a major problem, because there's hardly any taking over here, as I do bump the wall a bit. Like I said, in this race, I do bump around a lot. So if you try to see professional gameplay, then obviously don't come here. But yeah, I had to be #1. And ladies and gentlemen, I can now reveal I was P1 for the start of Monaco, which was an absolute shock. I celebrated like hell for a second, as you saw it said P2, but indeed I was P1, and I was celebrating like hell, because it's something that I really needed going into this race, was to be P1. And if anything happened during the race, it would be my own downfall and not my starting position. But yes, guys, let's get into the actual Monaco race itself, and let's see what happens during the race.
Look at those who will be fronting the grid: Bird, Bottas, and Lewis Hamilton. Goodbye for now. Nelson Piquet once said that driving the Circuit de Monaco was like riding a bicycle around your living room, and it's not hard to see what he means by that. There's no more prestigious a Grand Prix victory than Monaco, but also none so challenging. We're on the French Riviera once more this weekend at the 2-mile-long Circuit de Monaco. The cars climb around 40 metres up through Beau Rivage, onto the casino, and then descending down towards the harbour through Sector 2. It's a very short run. Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks for today's race. Bird lines up on pole position, and Valtteri Bottas will line up alongside. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Hamilton, Verstappen, Sebastian Vettel, and Leclerc, Albon, Ricciardo, Stroll, and Carlos Sainz. Norris, Perez, Kimi Raikkonen, and Kvyat, Giovinazzi, Russell, Roman Grosjean, and Esteban Ocon. Magnussen, Gasly, Giotto, and Nicholas Latifi. And now it's time to head down to the track.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we have 5 red lights and away we go at Monaco. Like I said, into the qualifying, it was ever so important for me to be able to have this P1. But basically, considering everything, Monaco is one of my worst tracks, so I really needed to have this P1 as we do hit the wall there, scraping our wheels. So luckily we don't have realistically damage on, because I would be out of this race. That tyre would have absolutely burst through as we do come around this tight right-hander here, leading into the quick left-hander. This is probably one of my most hated corners in the track, as we do look sideways onwards as we do come around now, speeding through. I hate this whole section because I can't control the car. So like I said, in this race in particular, I actually used my controller. I usually always use a steering wheel and foot pedals, but because obviously it's not one of these high-end ones, I couldn't get the full lock on like you do with maybe a Fennec Fennec wheel or any higher end wheel. So yeah, as I do smash into the wall there, like I said, this race is going to be very bumpy, hitting walls and stuff like that. And obviously I know how fortunate I am that I don't have realistic damage on, because I would definitely be out of the race by now and my wheel would have popped. So yes, but as I said, during next season I am going to change a few settings. I'm going to make the AI a bit harder. I'm going to put a bit more damage on and stuff like that, because it will make it more interesting. And obviously I do play on quite easy settings at the moment, but when it comes to a track like Monaco where I am really bad, I am very thankful for all the assists that I do have on. As you did see, I set the fastest lap coming through into the left turn here. But yeah, I don't know what you guys think, but honestly I felt like I was handicapping myself even more playing on controller, but at the same time I seem to race a lot better on the controller than I did with the wheel, especially on these tight narrow tracks, because like I said, my wheel is very good. It's not a high-end wheel, but it's a very good wheel for the price that it's at. So it just can't do the tightest of turns as it needs to. So maybe I need to look at the wheel settings there. But as we do come through now, this is a lot more lengthy race than any of the other races we have done. So there is more laps in this race than there would be in any other race. So we're doing pretty well at the moment, still keeping our P1, driving really well, to be honest. I couldn't quite believe it how good we was driving. I thought that we was going to drive a lot worse. But yeah, there is points where I think, damn, I hit that track really nice. And then there's points where I slam into a wall and I think, okay, I'm not as good at F1 as I think I am. But to be fair, I make these videos all for fun, to have fun. I don't make them to try and prove a point of how good a driver I am or how good I am at the game, because I know that I am not extremely good at this game, but I absolutely love the game. So of course I'm going to play it, because it's a game that I enjoy and I love making content on this game. So for me, that's completely fine. I love playing the game, I love making the content for you guys. So at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how good you are at the game or what settings you need on, as long as you are enjoying yourself whilst playing it, that is all that matters. And yeah, okay, sometimes you need to be good at the game to bring in new viewers. We take that corner awfully, but it don't matter, honestly. As long as you're enjoying the game, then that's what matters about making content. As long as you're enjoying the game, it don't matter, to be honest. So as I do look behind me, and I do see Hamilton pretty close behind me, but nothing to worry about, as we do get a fast sector there coming down into this next sector. We do come across that massively. That is a massive corner cut there. Holy hell, do you see what I mean about the dodgy driving here? And that is a massive corner cut. We did get a warning, so if we do that play again, I do believe that is a 3-second penalty there. And yeah, so we will have to serve that in the pits, but hopefully we won't have to get that. And yeah, we might not have to even serve it in the pits. We could just get it at the end of the race, and if we are 3 seconds up, then it wouldn't really matter. So yeah, either way, if that does happen again, then yeah, we've got to be careful now as we do come through here. Hamilton just always behind us, so the corner cut didn't really work, to be honest, as well as I would have liked it to work. But yeah, coming through here, like I said, the car performed a hell of a lot better than it did in the last episode at Spain. I think just where the gearbox was going, it just sort of, you know, really took its toll on the car and really affected the performance in a way that was very unnoticeable to me, I guess you could say, because it was very unnoticeable to me. So yeah, I was kind of shocked at how much it actually did take its toll on the performances. I do have a little peek over my shoulder and see Hamilton there trying to push down on this left side, but we are pulling away now. A bit of hard braking into this corner, taking that corner pretty perfectly, to be honest, considering how I took that last corner, completely doing a caveat and come flying across it. If you don't know what I'm on about, look at the caveat Monaco. He absolutely blitzes that corner. He don't stop. He just plows straight through. So hats off to the Russian torpedo himself, Danny Kvyat. But yeah, coming through now, coming around to the right, leading through to Monaco. Like I said, I think Monaco is one of the most aesthetically pleasing tracks. It's so well done, but I just hate to race in this track. Like, I moan about this track all the time. So I can't imagine, as a actual F1 driver, what this track must feel like to race in. It must feel absolutely pants, I can't lie. It must feel absolutely awful to race in real life. I'm complaining about it. Racing in a digital form. Imagine having to drive a real F1 car around this track. My blimmin' god, it must be an absolute nightmare, to say the least. And this track caused me to have so many breakdowns whilst recording this. I can't tell you. This track made me have extremely a big amount of breakdowns. Contrary, to be honest, that this is my own. I recorded this twice. First race, absolutely slammed it into the wall, completely failed. So I tried. I went to bed that night because I did it all on one night when I just finished recording the Spanish one, and I was like, no, my brain is not mentally up for this, so I turned it off. Tried it the next morning at 9 AM, smashed it. This is the second time that I've had to record this race, and yeah, I am absolutely blitzing it right now. Keeping that P1, like I said, this is why it's so important to have that P1 at the start of the race, because obviously you can control the race and how it goes. As you can see, my pit is open, so I will be pitting on this lap. So yeah, like I said, P1 is so important in this race because you can control the race. You can go whatever tempo you want because you can slow everybody else up behind you. Because there is no way, or well, there is ways of overtaking someone on this track, but it's very, very difficult. So like I said, unless you're going to be extremely ballsy, then yeah, it could be very, very, very spicy to overtake on this track. I cannot lie to you, ladies and gentlemen. But yeah, it can be a spicy occasion. But to be honest, I don't know. I felt like I was doing good, considering I'm on controller, holding my own, you know. No, obviously, I know I have automatic. I don't have the gears, but still, on controller, I was holding my own, and the controller really helped on this tight map. I can't lie. The controller really, really helped me on this this track. Like, honestly, I don't know what it was about the controller, but it was doing absolute bits, and I genuinely cannot complain one bit, as we almost lose it there into the left side, come through to this right turn leading on to the straight itself, but instead we're going to cut off and go into our pit. So we're coming through now. We are going to be fitting the old mediums. So for me, it was nothing to worry about because I knew that no other car was pitted. Well, when all the other cars needed to pit, I could still be out on track. So I did go for the early strategy again, as we do get the release there, and we do come round. The only problem when I played on controller was Jeff wasn't coming out of the screen when I was recording, which was frustrating. Jeff instead was coming through the blimmin' controller. So that's why you can't hear Jeff being like, oh, Hamilton's behind, or oh, the car behind, put mediums on, because he is in my controller rather than in the TV. So next time, Jeff, let me know when you're going to change positions like you did, my friend. Coming around to the right now, and this is my biggest nightmare, having to drive with other cars or trying to overtake other cars in Monaco, because obviously, like I said, this track is not very well known for overtaking. So I did have to play the patient game, coming through here, through the tunnel, where my car does look very nice, as if it's in an advert. So yeah, I did hate this quite a lot, as I do believe that is Gasly ahead of us just there. So I did have to drive very, very patiently with Gasly ahead, and then Kimi Räikkönen being up there, and come through the speed lane here as we cut that little corner quite a little bit, speeding through, coming to the final right. As I said, a few cars will probably be pitting this lap. So for me, this was perfect because I could just overtake the ones that wasn't pitting, and then the ones who was already still out, I knew they were still on the softs, so they would have to come out as we do come flying past there. As you can see, teammate is in the pits as we do come up here. So all the cars in front of me now are on the softs. So I knew that basically I had regained my P1 back pretty much, because all the cars in front of me still had to pit. So no matter what happened here, I would always be keeping I would be keeping my P1 as soon as these guys went in for the pit themselves. So I knew, just drive sensible, try and not cause any crashes or any major problems, and yeah, we should be good leading into this. So we are still we're still behind here, coming through the tunnel where my car does look very sexy and shiny. The back black and blue just looks absolutely wonderful, if you do ask me myself, as we have to hard brake here, come around to this tight corner, really getting right up that Alfa Romeo's butt there, and not really causing any problems, but almost colliding if I didn't brake, which I did, so always good in the end. But yeah, I always knew that these cars in front did have to pit. It was just if I could be quick enough to get to the start line to be able to overtake these guys. As you did see, I did get a small little you know, tap on the back there from Hamilton, sorry, as I do slam into that wall. Holy hell, if we had realistic damage on, that would have been my tyre pop. But like I said, I'm a noob at this game, okay? I'm a noob. I am not a pro driver. I'm not going to be going on the F1 driver series anytime soon, okay? So if you little F1 boys in the chat are like, yo Jake, you shit, you don't have realistic damage on, I'm just going to be like, okay, like, give it a rest, because I'm here to enjoy my life. I don't need you hating on me because you play with your settings, I'll play with my settings. At the end of the day, if you want to have sleepless nights because I don't play with realistic damage, then please do, because I tell you what, I'm not having sleepless nights. Even though it has been unbearably hot, I am still not having sleepless nights over the thought of not having realistic damage on. I'm sorry, but if that's the sort of content you want, then go to someone like Jimmy Broadband or Aravar, or you know, the Australian guy, I don't know his name. No, I slam into the wall there. The Australian guy, Tiat Mardu, I think his name is. So go to them guys if you want professional F1 driving. If you just want to have a bit of fun, a bit of commentating over the F1 races, then you are in the right place, ladies and gentlemen, because it is getting spicy now as we do get the fastest lap, and we do absolutely blitz away from Hamilton now. But we did smash into that wall. When I was recording this, I was full lock concentration, like I can't tell you. I was sitting forward, dripping in my own F1 sweat, thinking, come on Jake, this is the recording. You've had a stressful day yesterday of just thinking about this race. It's time for you to record this race and absolutely blitz it and show everyone what a good driver you are, as well as trying to not bloody die by slamming into walls, as you do see me do just then as I come across here, cutting through the corner and following the track around. But yeah, this is the speed lane of Monaco. You sort of just take this full pelt, little bit braking, and then you continue absolutely speeding through as we do come to the corner where we absolutely slammed it in. A little bit of earlier braking this time, so no slamming into the walls for me this time, ladies and gentlemen, as we do come round to the start line here into the 11th lap, setting another fastest lap. Can you believe it? Another fastest lap. So we're absolutely blitzing right now, and yeah, we're mincing up this Monaco circuit. For a circuit that I said I was worried about, I'm not doing too bad, you know. I'm going to give myself a pat on the back for that one, because I am not doing too bad, as we do set a slower sector there. As I do say, I'm giving myself a pat on the back. So I retract my pat on the back, because obviously if we're setting a slower sector, it means that we are not doing as good as we thought we was, as we do come round to the tunnel in Monaco with all the fans screaming on them. Thank you very much as I come through the tunnel here, speeding through the tunnel, coming down to that tricky corner as I late brake, cutting the corner like everyone else does, following the track around. But yes, I did change my car actually. Like, obviously you have the increased down, you have the maximum downforce setup, you have the medium downforce setup, you have the basic car, you have the maximum speed and the medium speed. I actually customized my car for this race. So if you guys want to see some of my customization options for the cars for each track, then do let me know, because I will happily go through those settings for you for the Monaco circuit, even though, because they were, like, obviously I'm not a very good driver, so these settings probably did help a lot more than what I expected, but because I'm not a very good driver, I guess the settings didn't really work as intended for me, but they did work to a certain degree, so I guess you could say they worked but didn't work. And yeah, as we come around to this tight left now, I completely slowed down here. I'm not too sure why, but yeah, still got the fastest lap. It's all peachy and rosy for me. And yeah, as we do come through the tunnel again, and like I've said many times, the car looks beautiful in that tunnel. I absolutely adore it. As we slam into the wall a bit there, as I said, realistic damage, tyre gone. But we're not here for the realistic damage, are we, guys? We are here for just some fun F1 content, me commentating over the Monaco Grand Prix, and I guess I could be a flagship for the noob F1 drivers out there in the world. If you are a noob F1 driver and you're not completely great at the game, come join this community, because we do not judge here. We just enjoy F1 for the great sport that it is, aka F1 in real life and in game, as we do come around here following it through. Like I said, there is moments where I absolutely look like a pro driver, and then there's moments where I slam into the wall when I'm like, okay, I'm a noob driver. So I guess I'm a bit of a 50-50 driver, you could say, and yeah, it's very interesting, I must admit. It's this corner on Monaco I actually hate the most, I can't lie, as we do get a yellow flag and then into a green flag back there, so something must have been going down in the hood. As we come round to the right here, leading through to the tunnel. As you did see, Alex Albon is out of the race. So he comes round to this right side here. He seems to have power, and then I guess just loses it. So I'm not 100% sure what happens there as he goes off into the verge, getting back into my race. But yeah, God knows what happened to Alex Albon there. I hope the man's alright. And yeah, when we get a bit more cash, Albon, you're welcome at the team. As we cut that corner very finely there. We need to be careful here with these corners, because we will get a time penalty if we continue to cut the corner. We didn't get a warning that time, but we are very cutting it quite slim, if you ask me. Quite slim. Following it through, and yeah, we just seem to be quite in control of this race at the moment. But just saying that as a slam into the wall, Hamilton has been keeping up with me all this race. And these slams into the walls, I thought, God, these are going to really set me back. But no, Hamilton has been up there. You know, he's been completely keeping up with me all this race. So, you know what? GG's to Hamilton. He's given it a good old race. But the car seems to be forming back to capacity speed, should we say. And, yeah, the car's just up there with some of the best it's properly performed. We set a fast sector there, and yeah, that is the yellow flag for Albon there. And as we do pass through, we do get the green flag, as they are trying to get rid of the Albon scraps and collision there. Well, not really the scraps, just the car itself, because it lost power, which is a shame. Which is a shame for the Rocket Red Bull, because it was really blitzing me last race. So I'm not too sure. As you can see me checking over the engine there, because as you can't hear Jeff was like, fuel levels are low, bloody blah, watch out for the fuel. And I was thinking, with my assists, I actually can't change the engine fuel. They do it automatically, because that is part of the assists. So I was just like, okay, well, I guess as it's an AI thing, they can just sort that problem out themselves. I don't have to worry about that. I'll just concentrate on racing like I'm doing here through the circuits of Monaco. But yeah, this is probably one of the more lengthy races I've had. It's 20 laps, or usually it's about 15 to 17 laps. So I guess it's not too much lengthy, but because Monaco is quite small, I guess it is more laps, because yeah, it is a lot smaller. As Hamilton is behind us, like I said, he's been keeping up with us all races. We late break there, coming around and following the track through. So we have been driving pretty well as we we just tap that wall there. So like I said, we are losing time because obviously our fuel is running quite low at the moment. So I believe we're probably running on lean mixture maybe rather than the rich mix like we have been doing probably for the whole entire race. As we do late brake there, cut that corner just ever so slightly, and yeah, following through. But like I said, Monaco, can't complain. Monaco is a beautiful map to look at, you know. I feel like I would enjoy Monaco if I was in the crowd with a glass of Prosecco watching the racers go flying past, rather than being the driver myself at Monaco, because I feel like if this was real life and I was the driver at Monaco, I would be out in the first lap. I would have been like head-on collision into the corner, tyre absolutely popped, and then bloody the Haas guy being like, yo, we used to be pop stars, now we're just absolute, you know, bad words. If you know what I'm on about there, trying to keep it family friendly here. But if you know what I'm on about there, look it up. And yeah, it's basically the Haas guy being like, we used to be rock stars, now we look like effing W's. So yeah, look it up if you don't know what I'm on about. It's a good laugh. Obviously, if you're a child, please don't look that up because I don't want to be sending you guys the wrong content as we come through the gorgeous tunnel here. And Hamilton's still keeping pace. All the cars behind us don't seem to be able to keep any pace at all. Just Hamilton, he's just the only one, the silver arrow, causing us major problems. So we cut that corner massively there, and there we go, ladies and gentlemen. The 3-second time penalty was awarded to us. So as it stands, unless we can pull away from Hamilton, we are coming in P2. So this P1 stands for nothing. But do keep in mind, I think you get 3 points for being P1 and 2 points for being P2. So it wouldn't really matter, because if I can keep the fastest lap, then I would still be getting 3 points. So it would be evenly shared between me and Hamilton. But still, our hard work being P1. But at the same time, I'm not gonna lie, unless we don't get the 3 seconds added up, because after this basically, we need to be 3 seconds ahead of Hamilton to keep P1. If we don't be 3 seconds ahead of Hamilton, then he's got P1 and I've got P2, which I cannot grumble about, to be honest, because I've got the fastest lap. I would be P2, which would give me 2 points, but the fastest lap gives you an extra point, so I would still have 3 points. Whereas Hamilton would only have the 3 points himself. So we'd be shared on points. So I cannot grumble. And if you said to me, when I was recording this, Jake Balcom, you might get P2, I would absolutely gobble that up. If that was a Bakewell in your hand, and you was like, Jake, if you eat this cake, this will give you P2, I would be straight in your hand. I would be munching on that Bakewell, cherry, then Bakewell, in my mouth. I would take that all day long, I cannot lie. I wouldn't say to you, oh god, really, is that like, you know, is that all I'm going to get? I would be very thankful for that. So let's see now, coming into the final closing stages, can we pull away from Hamilton enough to secure our P1, or will it be a destination F for P2 for us? Ladies and gentlemen, we will find out as we set another fastest lap on low mixture as well. So as you can see behind us, Hamilton must have set low mixture as well, because we are absolutely blitzing away from Hamilton here as we come around to this left side here, following it through. And yeah, like I said, unless we seem to be doing a pretty good job at the moment, but if this gets cut down, we are in P2, ladies and gentlemen. And like I said, I can't moan, because obviously we're still ahead of our rival, which is Valtteri Bottas, the Finnish fish. And but yeah, like I said, I would take that P2. I would honestly take that. It sucks because obviously we would prefer the P1, but because I've been a dirty driver and I cut that corner massively, then I only have myself to blame realistically, and I can't be too annoyed because it was my mistake in the driving that cost me those 3 points. And yeah, it just absolutely sucks that we did get awarded that time penalty. But when I was recording, I was like, I have to focus, keep my P1, try and get the gap. If I can't get the gap, not to worry, P2, I'll take it. And as long as we keep this fastest lap, even better. So yeah, coming through here. But we seem to be able to, we were stretching the gap quite a lot between me and Hamilton there. So I was kind of hopeful, really. I was like, my God, will I actually be able to hold Hamilton off here? Will I actually be able to hold off this race? Only time will tell, leading in, as we are now coming into the closing stages of the race. We are pulling away from Hamilton. We are a few seconds just ahead of him, and at this point in time we would still be keeping our, well, I think realistically we wouldn't be keeping our P1. It would be a P2 finish for us, but so we was mindful of this. We needed to really pick up the ante, but like I said, we was running on low fuel mixture, considering we had been rich pretty much all the race, so that is not paying off at all. I did have the smallest thought in my head of, my god, will I actually be able to finish this race? Will the fuel run out before the end of the race? Only time will tell. But yeah, we'll come around to this quick left here, braking just slightly, following the race all the way through, cutting that corner, leading into the Bay area of Monaco, following around to the left side, coming into that place where we would have to hard brake, and it is quite a tight turn, making sure we don't clip the corner on the way through as we come around to the start line here. And I believe this will be the final lap of the race. Leading in now, Hamilton is still right up our backside as we slam into that wall there. That absolutely caned our chances of getting P1. Like I said, I don't think it was, I thought at this point when I was driving, it ain't realistic for us to get P1 now. We've got the 3-second time penalty. It's not like we could go in the pits, serve our 3 seconds, come out of the pits, because we would just lose positions galore. So I thought, as I slam into the wall once again, I thought, might as well just suck it up, take the P2, and take the 3-second time penalty, because we are a dirty cheat. So at the end of the day, that is what cheaters get. They don't get the first position, they do get P2. So I was kind of thinking, P2, I'll take it. P2 and Monaco, considering this is like my worst track. I'm not just talking, oh, this is a track I dislike. This is by far, by and large, my worst track. The track on the calendar I absolutely hate the most. Like I said, it's aesthetically pleasing, but into race, sod that. I will not do that again. If you said, would you rather race at Spain or Monaco, I'll take Spain. Even though that's not my favourite track, but at least I stand a chance at Spain. Whereas Monaco, I don't really stand the chance. But as we do come round now to the right, leading to the finish line, checkered flag, ladies and gentlemen, it will be a P2 for us. It traditionally says P1 just there, but when we get into the scoreboard, it will come down to P2. As you do see, it did just change into P2. Driver of the day is Esteban Ocon himself. And yeah, P2, I'll take it. If I wasn't a dirty cheat, I would have got P1. But because I'm a dirty cheat, I got P2. But sometimes, like Eddie Guerrero says, you have to lie, cheat and steal to be the winner. But today, we didn't. We lied, we cheated, we stealed, but we wasn't the winner. As you can see, the silver arrow, Lewis Hamilton, on the top there. As I, in my frustration when recording, I did skip the podium, which I am ever so sorry for, which is why we have a loading screen. I wish I didn't skip the podium, so you guys could have seen Lewis Hamilton on top. Me actually on the podium in P2, but no, I skipped the podium because I'm an absolute fraud. So, yeah. But yes, guys.
The fans really seem to enjoy that. You made it look easy. You must be thrilled to be up on the podium. We all underestimated you, didn't we? You had a close battle today, didn't you? Appreciate your time.
So we just finished up the old interview there, and yeah, we just finished up the interview. Tricky questions, but like I said, thanks so much guys for watching this Monaco one. I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed sort of making it / commentating over it. But yes guys, I've been Player Junior. If you guys want to see more F1 2020 content or any sort of other games like Fortnite, Call of Duty, FIFA's in there, I believe. I am a very variety channel. If you guys want to see any content like that, then yeah, I have lots of that on the channel. But F1 2020 is why you're probably here. So if you guys want to see more F1 2020 content, then please do let me know. But I've been Player Junior. Thank you for watching. Thanks for all the new subs recently. 15 away from 100. Let's see if we can do it. Peace, guys. Thanks for watching. Woo!